So to describe the product to you, there's a locking button on the side of the stirrup, on your left-hand stirrup. When you press that button, you can release the drop-down leg. This drop-down leg drops by 6 inches, so it gives you a 6-inch advantage, which is the equivalent to dropping your stirrup levels by 8 holes, which is considerable, or a hand and a half of a horse. So it's almost like transforming a 16-hand horse into a 14-2 pony. So you put your foot in the drop-down leg, and you mount the stirrup, as we've been shown there, and then you put your foot onto the plate, and the stirrup retracts. It retracts and locks to a safe, fully ride-away solution. It allows the rider to mount the animal and keep both hands on the rein, so you're no longer in that position that you have to get up, drop your stirrup leathers, get up, and then try and hold your horse, hold your whip, your gloves perhaps, and then with the other hand try and fiddle with your stirrups to get them back up into the position.
But we ought to just turn the clock back a bit, because of course you're a hunting man, and this really came from a situation that so many people will be aware of. Is you've got out hunting, it's muddy, you've got off to do a gate because everybody else has disappeared and not helping, you've got to get back on your own and you can't. Tell us, is that where it came from? That's where it came from.
It was a problem I always had. I adore hunting, and you go out hunting, I hunt a 16-2 hand hunter, you're out in the field, you're having a great day, you're just always caught for that. Somebody will ask you, would you mind getting that gate, would you mind getting that wire, or you've got to get down to help the fallen rider. The problem is, you get down, you've got muck on your boots, and it's that stretch, you're just looking for that small amount. And it's almost, I won't say impossible, but it's such a struggle. You're using more upper body strength, so you're stretching across and you're trying to almost pull yourself up, instead of having the flexibility in your legs. What this allows you to do is, it allows you to actually use your toes to mount the horse, to get that bounce in your toes. So you can see that it allows the rider to get closer to the animal and to get the bounce that they need. Whereas before you were pushed back on your heel and you were stranded, you had to try and pull yourself up onto the horse.
Christy, you've mentioned the drop of 6 inches, this hand and a half. There's also, it's important that people understand that that wasn't by accident, that it was that drop in distance. Just explain how you got to that specific measurement.
We got to that specific measurement. I did a lot of trials with people, and I was asking how many holes they're dropping their stirrups by, and we measured that, and then, you know, people were saying, can you make it longer? We did make it longer. The problem then, by making it that, as you went to mount the animal, you were actually hitting your knee off the back of the saddle, so it was almost defeating the purpose of having it then, because you were too far down.
Why didn't you just do that? Because I want you to show about the back of the saddle, about the leg distance at the back of the saddle, because you've got an opportunity here to show, Christy, I'll leave it to you to go and show how much lower you might hit the back of the saddle.
So if you can drop it down again and just stand up in the drop down part of the stirrup, and when you go to put your leg, if you were lower down and you went to throw your leg over, you would get caught here, your inner thigh would get caught on the saddle, and then you're getting pushed back off again. So 6 inches was that optimum drop length, and that seems to do it every time for the rider.
Now, of course, stirrups, they come in pairs.
They come in pairs.
I was very delighted.
One free.
I was delighted to see that one of them had left written on it. They look the same. What have you done about that? How have you done that?
They do look the same. Initially I just thought that you would just need the drop down mounting aid stirrup, and I thought that'd be fine to get it. But once you developed it, you were riding in a different stirrup, a stirrup that wasn't the same weight, the same feel. So we made them in a pair, so they're both made out of heat-treated aluminium. It makes it very strong, very durable. We also offset the angle, the hang angle, by 18 degrees. So they sit slightly off the side of the horse, so in the event that you do lose a stirrup, you can easily find it with your foot. And so that's it. Oh yes, of course, you've got the, we incorporated as well a rubber grip into them as well. It's a very soft polymer rubber grip, and it just makes you feel very comfortable when you're riding. So you don't get the harder stirrups you tend to get, if you're in the saddle for quite a while, you tend to get tingly feet. Well, I do certainly get tingly feet. These then are very, very comfortable riding.
Somebody yesterday asked the question, have they got batteries? But it's fully mechanical.
Just fully mechanical. We've simplified the operation in it. We've stayed away from springs and any complicated devices. It works on a very, very simple solution. Because you don't want a complicated mechanism where there's going to be a lot of dirt. Hunting and horse riding tends to be quite a dirty environment. So there's plenty of clearances there to allow for a continued smooth operation.
Okay, Christy, that's 3 years on. You're with Horseware. Well, your fantastic product is now come to fruition. Tell us about where from here, because you're due to come on the market. Whilst we've got prototypes here, which are finished goods, tell us where we're going from here.
Okay, so Horseware now we've finished design and testing on them. There's a little bit more testing to do. The tooling is ready, so it's to manufacture them, and it's to set up the production facility. So they will be ready by next October. They'll be ready for sale next October.
Now let's just go back to the beginning. We mentioned Deborah Meaden at the beginning, people with inventions. Tell us about your experience with Horseware. You know, this is a dream that you've had. You yourself said you didn't have the wherewithal to bring it to the marketplace. What advice would you give people? Would you, basically not giving up, I think is the question.
Not giving up, but also being realistic is most important. You have to, as Deborah said, you have to, I suppose the first thing you have to realise is, will you be able to sell it? Yes, it might be a fantastic idea, but genuinely, will you be able to manufacture it on budget, and is there a market for it? Because it could be a fantastic idea, but if it's going to cost 300 or 400 euros or sterling, it just won't sell. It'll be brilliant, but pretty much useless. So you have to be realistic about it and take everybody's advice. I know you kind of think, oh, listening to somebody, you'll always find everybody will have something to offer you. It might not be good, it might not be bad, but listen to everybody, take their advice, don't go gung-ho and don't think that you know it all. And always remember, never ever get too close to your own product, because you can be blinded. Absolutely. A great bit of advice I got from Tom McGuinness. He said, you need to stand back, you need to look at the product, he said, and that was great advice that he gave me in the early days.
And that, of course, came up in the discussion earlier with Deborah.
Absolutely.
Exactly that. Well, how proud are you, Christy Bowe? It's 3 years on, your dream, your baby, and you're here at Beta International.
I can't believe it. I really can't believe it. I'm still chuffed. It's day 2. I still can't get over it. I'm so proud of the StirrUP. I'm so proud of the work that Horseware has done as well. The guys are there. They're wonderful. They've gone the extra mile. Nothing was a problem for them. Any issue that came up, we got together, we knuckled down, and it was solved. And I have to say a huge thank you to all the guys at Horseware. Really, truly.
Well, many congratulations to you, Christy. It was your invention. Well done. And well done for linking up with Horseware. A great thing to do. Well done. Very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Christy Bowe with the Rambo StirrUP.